All right. Am I streaming? I do believe I am. Let's see. Yep, I am streaming. Okay. I'll close that. And yeah, my frames are still, they're a little bit higher than when I'm recording. So, okay. What the hell is going on with my GPS? All right. Okay, so I want to do a night flight from 4 India 2 to 59 India, India. Let's see. So before I do that, I need to bring over a little nav map. I just flew into 4 India 2. Well, and this is going to be a flight for FS economy. I'm going to cruise at 14,000. So that should work all right. And let's see. Wait a minute. Oh, that's right. That's my previous flight. Here we go. Yeah. From 4I2 to 59II. Okay. Yeah, that's what I want. I got 97% fuel, so that ought to be fine. I'll definitely make it. Let's see what else here. Oh, I need to adjust my GPS. So, oops, no. Let's do this first. Alright, direct. Going to 59. Oops. 59II. Mount Vernon, Indiana. Posey Patch. That's correct. Alright. And let's see here. Adjust my autopilot on my Stream Deck. Cruise at 14,000. Climb rate. Vertical speed. I set it to 2,000, but the DA-62, which is the aircraft I'm flying, it has like an anti-stall program in its autopilot, so it won't let me climb too fast. It'll keep me from stalling. So that's all set. Okay. Alright, so GPS is set. Little nav map is set. Autopilot is set. Let's start FS Economy client here. Alright, got my passengers. Flight in progress. Alright. I guess I'm going to keep this in windowed mode, since if I take it, well, that's not working either. Okay. Come on, go back up to 30 frames. 15 frames sucks ass. Well, wait a sec. Hold on. I guess, yeah, I've got everything set to like ultra and high. I'll set it all to low end. Motion blur off. I want a high refresh rate on my cockpit screens. There we go. There, that makes it tolerable. All right. Okay, everything's set. Set my trim here. 16%. All right. Break off. Let's go. All right. 60 knots. 70. 80 rotate. Positive rate gear up. Flaps up. Let's go ahead, turn to course. .100 knots, engage autopilot. All right. Okay, come on, get on the damn course. Shit, what the hell? They must have changed. They screwed up the friggin' autopilot. I'll be damned. Had an update last night with Flight Simulator. Or this morning, I should say. So I bet they screwed up the friggin' autopilot. That's the first time I've gotten a stall horn on autopilot in the Diamond ever. There. I guess, alright, I'll control the vertical speed myself. Oh, shit. Alright. 130 knots, I can increase my vertical speed now. turn my landing and taxi lights off. Forgot to do that. Alright. Stream Deck is great for Flight Simulator, I tell you. It's great for gaming in general. Take it down to 1500. So, I mean, I'll show you basically what I got. That's my Stream Deck app right here. So, I mean, it's got my altitude that I'm going to, my current vertical speed, and my autopilot hot buttons, if you will. And then I go right here. I've got my fuel pump, my lighting controls, my pitot heat, brake, flaps, pitch, trim, landing gear indicators, avionics, altimeter, battery, ignition switches, fuel, electric, more electric, altitude, speed, waypoint info. I mean, it's a great tool to have. I mean, of course, I mean, you got a whole bunch of stuff you can do with it. Typically, when I'm not doing anything, if I'm like on YouTube or just fussing around with my computer, I'll have this up, have all my stats for my computer. So, like I said, great tool to have. .116 knot climb speed. Yeah, that's basically where I want to be at. So 30 frames. GPU temps look good. CPU temps look good. Alright, I'm happy. You know, I mean, playing Flight Simulator 2020, and I mean, my computer, I mean, it's pretty good. Ryzen 9, 3950, 64 gig of RAM, and 4 terabytes of hard drive space. But I cheaped out on my video card. I've only got a 1660 Super, but for the most part, it works. If I'm not streaming, I can, I mean, depending upon the environment I'm flying in and whatnot, I can get on ultra settings, 1080p. I can get upwards of 60 frames per second. But again, that depends on the environment, how much I have to render. So, I mean, of course, PC gamers, I mean, like myself, everybody's PC is different. Mileage may vary. It depends upon what software you've got running in the background. It depends on your version of Windows, your internet connection, your processor, your memory, your video card, your hard drives, all of that stuff, your temps. So yeah, how many USB hubs do you have? How are your eyes crossed? What's your blood pressure like? If your computer's not increasing your blood pressure, you're not doing it right. So yeah, it's PC gaming is, it can be more of a headache sometimes than it can be fun. All right. I'm at 13.6. Headed for 14,000. I'm going to be leveling off here very shortly. And then picking up speed. My true airspeed, once I'm level, my true airspeed should be right around 199 knots true airspeed. I think it's 168 indicated. I'm not 100% sure. I'll find out here shortly though. Alright, so I'm leveled off. So I can go back to my main piloting screen here. A 235 nautical mile flight, and it's knocking off the minutes as my speed increases. So yeah, here we got distance and indicated airspeed, true airspeed. Where's the time? I thought I had time. That might be on the other screen. Yeah, here's the time. Estimated time elapse, an hour 13 minutes. Of course, that's going to drop off as my speed increases. 195 knots right now, true airspeed. What's my ground speed? Yeah, okay, that matches with ground speed. Almost. It's a little bit off. Do I have wind? I've got a 1 knot wind. Oh, little nav map is saying no wind. Flight simulator is saying 1 knot. Let's put a little nav map over here. There we go. So, in the interest of brevity, I'm going to end up jacking up the time scale here. So let's get rid of that and bring up my Shift Z stats. So I still have my frames, but it's got my sim rate, which is 1x, which is real time. I'm going to jack that up here because I don't want to bore you guys for an hour 10 minutes. So let's go 4x. I can go up to 16, but I'm only going to go 4x, so that way it takes 15 minutes approximately. But anyways, let's see. So what all is new with me here? Let's see. Well, a couple days ago, posted a video on my YouTube channel that we were talking about remote ID for drone pilots, um, which I think is a stupid idea, especially for FPV racers and freestylers, because typically that's considered shielded operation. You're below tree lines, you're below roof lines, um, flying in ballparks, office parks, playgrounds, backyards, stuff like that. Um, and the FAA here in a couple months is rolling out their new rules for remote ID. Manufacturers were supposed to be compliant as of last year, I believe. And this September, I forget the exact date, I want to say September 16, um, is when it's mandatory for all pilots to be compliant. If you're flying anything that weighs more than 250 grams, um, you must comply with the FAA's remote ID rules, um, which I think is just absolutely friggin' stupid. The only way you can fly without remote ID is if you're flying in a FRIA, which is basically an AMA airfield. And the problem I see with that is the AMA, um, they don't even realize how bad, they haven't even realized yet how bad they're getting screwed, because the FAA hasn't even recognized any FRIAs yet. Um, the AMA is going to get shut down. And not that I've ever really wholeheartedly agreed with the AMA's safety standards. Um, I think the, yeah, aviation safety is a big deal. I get that. Give way to full scale aircraft. Don't fly over people. Um, don't fly anything over 55 pounds. Don't fly faster than 250 miles per hour. I get stuff like that. I understand. Um, I understand that there are safety rules for a reason. Obviously, if a rule had to be made, that means that someone screwed up somewhere and it was an expensive mistake. Um, but for a little tiny drone that basically fits in my hand, there's no reason that I should have to have, uh, for lack of a better term, a digital license plate. I mean, yes, I know it's a digital transponder and stuff like that. It gives my name, my address, my current location, uh, plus I think there's also pertinent flight data. I mean, if I'm GPS equipped, it will have um, my altitude, my speed, stuff like that. Um, but typically, FPV drones don't have GPSs on them. And I mean, because it's added weight that we don't want to carry. Our FPV drones, freestyle and racing, are built lean and mean. They're built for speed, not navigation. So, let's see, 155 miles, okay. Anyways, but yeah, the FAA is bringing that crap out. And anybody watching this, I mean, look, I'm not telling you what to do, but I would not be opposed if there was mass non-compliance. Um, basically take a rule from, or not take a rule, but take an example from what's going on with the ATF and the argument with stabilizing pistol braces. They were legal for 10 years, and tens of millions of Americans bought them. And then the ATF just decides out of the blue to change their mind. Oh, these are illegal now. And they turn tens of millions of Americans into felons. It's government overreach. Big time. I mean, I think it needs to stop. And I think that's basically what's going on with the remote ID and UAS operation, remote aircraft. I think ultimately is what it is the FAA wanting to clear the skies for larger corporations like Amazon so they can get their remote delivery services, their drone delivery services up and running. I think Amazon has the FAA in their pocket. And that's where all of this is coming from. As a result, the FAA is doing a little song and dance saying, oh, yeah, well, we'll do a feedback period and get people's opinions. And, well, you had people like Josh Bixler from Flight Test, and you had a representative from the AMA, and you had, what is it? I think they had someone from the FPV Coalition. All three of them went to Washington, D.C. to talk to the FAA. And I may be mistaken about the FPV Coalition, but I do know Josh Bixler and the AMA rep, they were just like, they acted like they were just so honored to be there. And they were basically just, it was like they were just licking their boots. I mean, I was just like, this is friggin' pathetic. Speak up for your hobbies. Of course, the AMA has never been there for drones. They don't give a rat's tit about drone operators. They never have. If you doubt it, go to an AMA field and try to fly a drone and see how you get bitched at. They hate drones. I mean, hell, it's bad enough trying to fly a helicopter at an AMA field, and they're supposed to provide helicopter areas. But drones, 10 times worse. AMA fields hate them. I have no idea why. And companies like Horizon Hobby, and in turn Spectrum, they've basically all but stopped drone support and production, which is a damn shame because I love Spectrum radios. My drones that I have 3 Tiny Whoops, and I have an Armatan Japalura 3-inch. All of them are Spectrum, and I love using my Spectrum radio. My FPV goggles, which are technically made by Fat Shark, but they're labeled as Spectrum, and they have a head tracker built in that pairs up with my Spectrum transmitter. So, I mean, it's a great combination. The technology is there. They have awesome tech, but they're not really taking advantage of it. So, I don't know. The way things are going, I don't know how long this hobby has. I don't know how long the RC hobby has. So, I mean, yeah, I'm just try to burn off a little bit of steam here, uh, doing Flight Simulator. I wonder when, or I wonder if anybody come out with a mod for Flight Simulator to put drones in the air. Oh man, that would be insane. I mean, you can add birds and stuff like that. I mean, you could have a bird strike in Flight Simulator, from my understanding. But of course, most of the guys I fly with, especially when we're doing large group flights, uh, we'll have damage turned off because, of course, we get a lot of newbie pilots coming in that don't fully understand their aircraft, and they'll have the ugliest friggin' landings you've ever seen. I mean, there's no way in hell that airplanes could survive if they didn't have damage turned off. And most of us that have been flying for years, I mean, I've been playing Flight Simulator since Flight Simulator 98. So, I mean, of course, we've got years of practice and learning how to adapt to the control inputs and the physics of the simulators and everything. And hell, going from FSX to Flight Simulator 2020 was quite a jump for me, actually. Um, a very different physics model. 55 miles. Okay. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot that um, ultimately, like I said, there's a lot that needs to be changed with our government, with how things are run, and I don't know. It's just an odd thing. It's something that's on my mind a lot lately. And hopefully things will work out for the better. I know one of the YouTubers I follow, XJet. Uh, I know, I think he's down under. I don't know if he's Kiwi or if he's Aussie. I believe he's still down under. I don't know if he's actually, um, or if he's immigrated to America. I don't know. I know he's from down there, anyways. Um, but he's actually got something up his sleeve. He's coming up with a video in the next couple days, next week or so. Um, I think it's something along the lines of um, basically spoofing a remote ID signal to shut down an airport. Um, this was something that he had mentioned in a post, that bad actors would be able to do this. Um, and yeah, it could be a dangerous thing. Bad actors, environmentalists, protesters, what have you, if they really wanted to cause a ruckus, they could use remote ID to actually shut down an airport. And that could have uh, grave circumstances. Or is that the phrasing I'm looking for? I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, it could cause a lot of problems. There, we'll just say it like that. All right, 20 miles. Let's get ready. Pre-landing checklists. All right. And basically, I'm going to lawn dart this bitch in. 15 miles. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and disengage the autopilot and start my descent. There's my airport right there. I don't know why it's wanting to roll. It shouldn't. I haven't messed with the roll trim or the aileron trim. Oh. There we go. I was wondering why it seemed like I was approaching it so friggin' fast. I forgot to turn my time scale down. Back to 1x. Alright. So I'm below 2,000 feet. I'm 2.2 miles out. Landing and taxi lights on. Gear down. Got 3 greens, gear down and locked. Flaps down, throttle idle. Better get my feet on the pedals here. Coming in a little hot. Oh, butter touchdown. Alright. Apply brakes. And what is that flashing on my GPS? What the hell is that shit? Alright. Hold on. I'm going to change my time here so I can see what I'm doing, turning my airplane around. That's my airplane. She's a beaut. Alright. Taxi down to the other end here. Before I shut down and leave you guys. Okay. Alright, that's where I'm going to leave it. Alright. And turn on my parking brake. That's going to trigger the FSE client. And it logs the flight. And ready for departure. Next flight going to take me to H58. Alright. Okay, well, I think that is pretty much going to do it for me. So, alright, well, I appreciate you all watching, and you all have a nice evening, and hopefully see you back here sometime soon. Have a good one.